Good afternoon and welcome to the January 19th, 2021 Board of Works and Public Safety. We will be starting off with a pledge of allegiance led by Brian Dobb.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And roll call.
Brian Dobb,
Present.
Becky Gibson,
Present.
David Nutty,
Present.
Jim Barrett.
Hold on. That would be my bad.
Hello?
Hey there. Roll call vote. They just called for you, so Jim Barrett.
Here?
I do apologize for that.
That's no problem.
We were talking to everybody and I forgot to call you in, so I apologize. So is that everybody? Rosemary?
Yes.
Everyone has the minutes from the January 4th, 2021 regular session, the January 4th, 2021 executive session, the January 8th, 2021 e-vote, and January 11th, 2021 e-vote. Are there any additions or corrections to those?
Make a motion to approve all three?
We have a
Four.
motion.
All four.
Sorry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Becky Gibson,
Yes.
David Nutty,
Yes.
Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Dobb.
Yes.
Okay, we have new business. We don't really have any new business today. Move on down to department matters. Start with Brad.
Yeah, I got a couple of things I need to bring before you today. The first one is every couple of years we ask permission. We have people, when we send checks to people like for deposit refunds or such things, and they don't cash them after a couple of years, they can no longer cash them. And so we put those back into an account, and if they come in the future and do business with us again, then we give them credit for that. But we have about 7 or 8 checks that are over 2 years old that I want to get permission to put back into the regular account. And then we will also, I would really like to say that in the future, if it's okay with you guys, that'll just be our policy that after 2 years, those go back. And then, like I say, if they come back in to do business with us again, we give them a credit for their new account. But it's just one of those things where we can't get a hold of somebody.
Is there a state policy of some kind that should be adopted for that? What do you do, Rosemary, after a year or two?
After 2 years, all checks are voided.
Okay. But that is stated on your checks, right?
Yes. And so therefore it's stated on their checks as well.
Okay.
They just choose to put them in a different account so that it can be applied to any future services, is what he's asking.
I think that's ought to be the policy, and go ahead and approve that. Not only approve doing so today, but make that a policy for the future.
For utilities only.
Yes, thank you.
Second.
So we have a motion from Dave and a second. I didn't hear the second, so
Jim?
Becky.
roll call vote, please.
David Nutty,
Yes.
Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Dobb,
Yes.
Becky Gibson.
Yes.
The next thing, I can't remember how recently, but the city sometime recently changed their policy that assets of $5,000 or more would be the number of anything for us to put on assets to have a value of $5,000. Right now, at the utilities, we're putting everything on inventory that has a value of $600. So if it's okay with you guys, I would like to ask permission that in the future we use that 5,000 figure that the city is.
What's the advantage of one way or the other?
Well, it's just a whole lot of stuff between those two numbers. Even 2-inch meters cost over $600 nowadays, and we're not too far off from a regular meter costing that. So it adds probably thousands of things literally to our inventory.
Things that are more routine and really don't need to track.
Yeah.
Brad, are you talking about a cumulative value or just the value for just one? Like if you have 10 meters, that's over $6,000 then. I mean, you'd count the 10 meters on inventory, or?
It should be counted individually. So
Okay.
anything over that costs $5,000 should be inventoried, is what the policy is now for the city. And Brad's just asking to match the utility policy to the cities.
I like that idea. I'll make that a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Dobb,
Yes.
Becky Gibson,
Yes.
David Nutty.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know now at the next, you may have seen the advertisement in the paper and some of the dates and times were wrong in that for the bidding on the water main replacement grant with Okra. An addendum is being sent out to all the bidders to give their appropriate time, but at the next Board of Works meeting on the, is that the 1st of February? That's when the bids will be open for that project. And we will be hoping that bids will come in below $942,000. That's the projected cost of that. So we'll be dealing with that at the next meeting. I thought I'd let you know. And I haven't been by there today, but I believe Western Avenue, Scott, you may have seen, is Western Avenue closed?
You're muted, Scott.
Sorry.
Sorry. It was open still at lunchtime, but there was a lot of activity going on. So it looked like, matter of fact, it looked like they were digging off to the side of the road. So
Any minute or day, it'll close. So just warning everybody again, you'll have to reroute around that for a month or 6 weeks, hopefully no more than that.
So when you do close roads like that, do you let dispatch know so they can tell all the units, whether it be first aid or police or fire?
Yep. we
Good.
do. The last thing is, I need to jump off to another meeting. So if anybody's got any questions, but you guys have our utility street monthly report. If you had any questions on those, I'd be glad to answer them. And you had our year-end report from the street department. The utilities year-end report isn't ready yet. It's a little more involved. So I'll get that to you just as soon as we get it finished. Mike's working on that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello. If you recall back middle or end of last year, I asked for permission to dispose of equipment that was outdated, non-repairable, non-functional. You should have a list of another 5. There's more than 5 items, but there's 5 categories, I guess. Requesting permission to dispose of these. They're either non-functional, not upgradable, not compatible, broken, or just don't plain have a use for them. I'm not sure how we acquired 2 cash registers, but that's just something we're not going to be able to use. I would also like to add, and I'm not sure the quantity, I believe there's 3 or 4 left, steel oxygen bottles. We don't use steel oxygen bottles. They weigh 4 to 5 times as much. In order to use, they're so old, in order to use them, we would have to have them hydrostatically tested. They've been sitting in a back closet for years and years and years. I would like permission to to scrap those as well. Does anybody have any questions?
Clint, by chance, did you check with Catherine or maybe Brad over the street department to see if those lights can be used in either one of those areas?
I sent out an email to all the department heads and asked if anybody had any use for them and offered to show them. And thus far, no one has expressed any interest. Several people said they passed. So I'm not even sure if they work. I'm not sure how long they've been around. I'm not sure where we got them from. I believe they came out of a building at the park already. So I'm assuming the park doesn't want them back.
It was from when we converted to LED on all the buildings. These are not LEDs, so they would not be really useful in any of the city buildings at this time.
These things are massive. These things are absolutely massive.
Do those have the mercury in them?
I don't know on that. I probably need to look into that before we dispose of them.
I'd suggest that, but I would.
The mercury is normally is the mercury normally in the bulb itself, or is it in the junction box type of thing? Do you happen to know?
Some have both. Some have only just one in the bulb.
Okay.
Well, the transfer station would know how to handle that, wouldn't they?
They should.
Yeah, I'll check with them before I load them up.
Well,
and say
what
they're
I'm-
quite heavy and quite large.
Well, I'm thinking is if that's where they're going, they'll know how to handle it. So just take it to them.
I move to approve the disposal of the items.
I'll second your request.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
David Nettie,
Yes.
Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Daub,
Yes.
Becky Gibson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else, Clint?
Not unless you want me to do departmental report now.
No, let me finish up the matters and we'll move to reports.
Okay.
Okay, Scott.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Included in the packet that I sent everyone, there was a request for an extension of a sick leave for one of my guys. I tried to explain the situation as best I could without indulging some medical details, but if anyone has any questions about that I could, answer right now that wouldn't give out too much information, I could try to answer some questions, but
You just need our approval, right, Scott?
yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve Scott's request.
And
I'll second the motion.
what's the length?
Until March, what was it?
Ninth.
Follow-up is on March the 9th.
Okay, we had a motion. Did I hear a second? I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Daub,
Yes.
Becky Gibson,
Yes.
David Nettie.
Yes.
Okay, let's move down to,
I do have one other thing that would probably fall under department matters, if that's okay.
go ahead.
It kind of came about after I sent my reports in, but we decided to fix the assistant chief's truck that we currently had because we decided it was still the truck had under 80,000 miles or so on it, and it was still, even though it was an 06, it's still mechanically functions really well, but it looked really bad. So instead of asking for a new pickup truck, we decided to fix that truck, have it painted. And then in the process, we determined that the bed was rusted pretty bad, and it would be, I think everyone is under the assumption that when you fix rust, it probably comes back in a couple of years. So we decided to look for another bed. We found another bed. The truck come back, looks great, but now I have a bed that either one way or the other either needs to be scrapped. I personally think we could probably get more out of it. I think someone would be able to use it. So I guess what I'm getting at is I would like to come up possibly with another way of maybe being able to sell that. Before I had John Pazzi, he sold a mower for me, and I did approach him about possibly putting that on eBay, but then I had a discussion with Rosemary the other day about possibly coming up with another way that I could sell it locally and maybe more easy. So I contacted Jeff Westling and to see if there was a way that I could do that and, you know, not break any rules. And he said as long as we created some kind of procedure and the board was okay with it, that I could advertise it and take like sealed bids and then create an invoice, and then they would have to pay, you know, via check. So we would, you know, Rosemary could, you know, receive that in. So I don't know if that's an option. I'm thinking scrap. I might get $30 out of it. I think, you know, someone might be able to use it for, you know, something, maybe get $100 out of it, but I don't have a process for that. So I don't know if that's something that we could discuss, or I could bring up, you know, come up with a process or a policy and maybe discuss at a later date. But I don't have, basically it's sitting out behind Station 1 right now because I don't have any place to store anything. So I guess the sooner I could get rid of it, the better.
Scott, do you think that's what the value is? About $100 to somebody, maybe?
I mean, it's actually has a fiberglass cover on it. Also, I could see somebody giving $100 for it. Like I said, I don't, last time I went, scrap wasn't very much. So I'm going to take a guess. I'd probably get $30 if I scrapped it, but you know, I would be willing to try and sell it, you know, locally, as long as, you know, I get approval to do that and I do it the right way, obviously. Like I said, John sold the mower for me on eBay. I didn't have no place to store it, so I kind of wanted to get rid of it. And I think some gentleman bought it from Chicago and drove clear down here from Chicago to pick that up. So I think I could get rid of it locally, but I just want to make sure we do it the right way.
Let's have a written policy in place then, Scotty. We'll get a written policy and then Rosemary approve it. Then we'll
There
go
is a
forward.
written policy approved already, but it's on a larger scale. I mean, we could, I'm sure, apply this instance to that, but,
Oh, it would apply?
I
Could.
don't know. I'll have to check.
We'll get back with everybody. We'll have Dave look at it and approve it as well.
Hey, Scott, I'd suggest selling it as a whole, that fiberglass top, the bed, everything as a whole, in case someone comes down, they want just the bed or just the
Right.
top, and then you've got to worry all about it. Sell it all as one.
Right. That was the plan. And then
Okay.
obviously if I could get, you know, some type of maybe blanket policy, you know, and permission, you know, once we go through, there's other things around here that I think I could sell, and it would be convenient to just be able to try sell locally. I think I got a big ladder that we can't use that I'd like to get rid of. So instead of having to come to the board every time to ask permission to sell one individual item, it would be nice if I could, you know, come up with some kind of blanket policy on that.
We'll get the policy, give it to Mr. Butch. He'll look at it and review it as well, and we'll bring something to Board of Works next time.
Okay.
It's all good. Okay, move on down to department reports. John, you're up first.
Hello.
Hello.
For the month of December, we had 8 hours, 17 minutes of meeting production, 27 hours, 28 minutes of original production. And that's because we are continuing to do a huge amount of sports production for CHS. We're trying to cover pretty much every game that we can, both at home and away. So as a matter of fact, we have one tonight during the city council meeting. So we're going to be doing both of those at the same time. That'll be fun. So does anyone have any questions?
I'm sure the away teams appreciate this always.
Actually, we got a comment from Noblesville the other day. They really appreciated us being able to relay it to them. So that was nice
Yeah.
to know. And we always let the ADs at other schools know that we're going to broadcast it. So they
Good idea.
let everybody know as well. So
That was a good idea.
very helpful for everybody.
Wonderful service.
Yep. that's all I had, unless you wanted some information on the annual report.
It's up to you. Anybody got any questions on it?
No.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Clint, your turn again.
You should have my packet with numbers and figures and a little bit of a summary. I don't have a year-end report at this point in time. I'm kind of working on putting some other information into it. It's a little more detailed, and I'm pulling some numbers from our billing service and so forth and so on. So I should have a pretty nice report for you in February for 2020 year end. We still have staff in progress of getting our COVID vaccinations. I've had, I think, 3 or 4 that are finished. They've gotten both vaccinations. Myself, I'm in the Moderna group, so it's a 4-week between shots. So I think I still have another week or 2 to go before I get my second shot. But no one's had any severe reactions, arm pain, and some mild, fever and stuff like that, lasting no more than a day. Moving on with that, and hopefully continue to get more people vaccinated within our department. So I saw some studies that basically showed after your first shot, you start to develop some immunity after day 11. So that's really good news that we can start to develop that immunity pretty quickly after the first round of vaccinations. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Nope. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
sir.
you.
Scott. You're muted again.
Sorry, I did that because my phone was going, kept vibrating. So everyone should have a copy of my overtime and my run reports for December, which gives totals for the end of the year also. December was another pretty good month for overtime. I still had several guys on sick leave, which caused the overtime. Obviously, December's a heavy vacation month, so the combination of those two created some overtime. So now, once the first of the year, we should see that go back to normal. But I still do have a few guys on sick leave. Nobody on COVID. I had a few people on COVID in December, but currently we have nobody with COVID, so that's good news. But other than that, that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Nope. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
sir. Brad already went. He's gone. Catherine.
I have a couple of things. I'm not sure if this should have gone in department matters or not, but we did replace all the banquet chairs at the Miller Building, leaving us with the old red chairs. We are able to benefit the Columbia Community Center with those chairs. I just wanted to get permission to donate those to the county park. We will be keeping enough for the Roberts Building, and they're taking the ones that are the worst of the worst. They're actually going to duct tape them. So just wanted to get permission to donate those.
Move to permission.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Roll call vote for permission to donate the chairs.
Becky Gibson,
Yes.
David Nutty,
Yes.
Jim Barrett. Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Dobb,
Yes.
And
Yes.
thank you. And the second thing is, when Scott was talking, I thought of our old chlorinator. We did move to bleach last summer. We held on to the pellet chlorinator for the season just to make sure that the bleach was going to work, and it's working really well. So we're going to look at selling that chlorinator. I know the purchase price was like $6,500. Not sure what it would sell for, but again, I don't know if I need permission to sell that.
Yes.
I do? Okay. I'm gonna ask for permission to sell the chlorinator.
I
So
think you
moved.
should. Yeah. I second it.
Okay, we have a
Yeah,
motion.
you want to
second.
get that off your property.
Roll call vote to sell the chlorinator.
David Nutty,
Yes.
Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Daub,
Yes.
Becky Gibson,
Yes.
Just a couple highlights off our monthly report. We are neck deep in hiring seasonal staff right now. It's going really well. I'm down to just one position left in the shop and really just one position left for camp, and then we're going to get started on the pool. So if anybody knows of anybody looking for a job this summer, please let me know. That is posted on Facebook and the city website too. And then just in case people are asking you, 2nd Street is moving forward. The engineering firm is working on the topo and the geotech this month, and they should be done within the next 3 weeks is what they're telling me with their proposal for that park. And out at River's Edge, the market analysis should also be completed about the same time frame. So 2 big projects should be moving forward here in February. And other than that, we're just running rec league and men's league and church league basketball. That's it, unless you guys have questions.
Thank you. Chief Bolos.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Everybody should have a copy of my December and my year-end totals for the past 2 or 3 months. As you can see in December also, overtime is a bit high. We were hit pretty hard there towards the end of the year with COVID days, along with holidays and whatnot. So we, like the fire department, we don't have anybody on COVID at this time. Everybody's off quarantine, so future's looking up. Any questions on our law reports and our monthly or yearly citations or call volumes or anything like that? That's all I have then, if there's no other questions.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Move on down to old business. Anyone have any old business? Okay, move on to miscellaneous. I have several, but I will let anyone who has any miscellaneous business go first because I have several. If not, I will go ahead and go into it. Okay. I'm just going to kind of give you an update on some of the projects we're working on before I get to my final request. We've been working with IEDC training, and it's good to know that we're doing a weekly training, and I've seen Becky there. It's been good training to learn. I would encourage anyone, I'm not for sure who got the emails, if everyone can sign up or not, but if you want to be part of that, let me know. That's going very well. Working on some Indiana economic development issues. I'm also attending what's called the 21st Century Talent Region seminars. These are pretty lengthy, but they have developed a regional approach to talent attraction, and we are involved in that, and we are taking the lead on that. We will be developing a task force or a team, however you want to call it, to develop this further. So all this is going to lead into my final one. So I'm working with a company called Strativise, who has been hired by Ball State to lead this. It's very in-depth, a lot of information, a lot of good things can come out of it. Believe it or not, if any of you ever get this magazine here from Tourism puts out, whoop, my camera's not going to let it do it. Anyway, we've got a good advertisement in here that advertises Connersville. This 21st Century Talent Region is linked directly to that. So the marketing works, and I didn't realize this, so I was in the meeting listening to other people. But the marketing, how it links together, is really going to be beneficial for everyone. It's how we attract talent here. So it also tells us things that we need to improve on and what we can, and things that we can get better at. So that's been very good. Along with that, we've partnered with the Eastern Indiana Works. We are working on a strategy to we're working on achievable goals that are measurable to help Connersville become a better, more employable place, and a place that we can start attracting people here, businesses, people, everything. We're developing a complete program with that group. So it's going to take some time, but I'm also going to need people to help out with that, which again, I'm going to get to here in a second. We're also working with the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission on a Region 6 in-depth housing study. And that's, there's 7 of us in the region, 6 of us have signed up to do this. It's going to be a very in-depth study, tell us what we have, what we need, what we're lacking, where we need to go. Because we all know that housing, there is a housing issue, but this is going to study it and tell us exactly what we do, where we need to go. Now the county's partnering with us on this, so is the Economic Development Committee, EDC. About said the wrong word there, and so we're going to get a good study here. The reason I bring it to your attention is I'm inviting the city council, I'm inviting the board of works, anyone who wants to get involved. I've got a list of about 25, 30 goals or projects we're working on. And I said at the beginning of last year, we're going to get a lot done, but I'm going to need a lot of help. So as much as you want to get involved, we'll have plenty for you to do. My point in saying that is I'm not going to task anyone with any project. If you want to get involved, if there's something you want to do, come sit down with me. I will show you the entire list. I will show you where we want to go, how we want to get there, and I'll let you choose which one you want to get involved with. So I prefer ownership. I want you to do something you enjoy, something you want to do. So got a long laundry list, a lot of goals that we want to reach. I guess my point is I can't do them all by myself. There's way too many. And just the first 4 that I mentioned is eating up a lot of time, because it's a lot of strategizing. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of meetings, online meetings. So some of this is regional, some of it's statewide. That's why it's taking a lot of time. So as much as you want to get involved, as much as you want to help, I have plenty to do. So if you want to get involved, just reach out, and I'll share with you everything we want to do, where we want to go, and see where you can get involved. So, and what there's more projects than we have council and board of works. So there's going to be people from the community as well who want to get involved. So the more people we have involved, changing and growing things, the better off we will be as a community. So that's what we're trying to do, and that's really a miscellaneous business that I have, is come get involved. Claims, Rosemary.
The utility claims was $245,465.58. The city claims was $337, $117.60. Payroll, $536,703.41.
Okay, take a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Dobb,
Yes.
Becky Gibson,
Yes.
David Nutty.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that, and we can move on down to adjournment. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Jim Barrett,
Yes.
Brian Dobb,
Yes.
Becky Gibson,
Yes.
David Nutty.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Bye.
Bye now.